All right, Champ, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to start with Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Okay.
Thank you. James, just got a couple things. One, Cole just came on and talked about how you can't comment on the actual deal itself. But what I was going to ask, if you could comment on just the day and how you guys were able to function in doing something other than just staying pat. What led to what you guys ended up doing?
I mean, we were just monitoring how things are shaking out in the draft and seeing that there was an opportunity for us to get back in, be opportunistic, find a player that can match the profile of the players that would thrive here. And so we went into today thinking, how could we continue to build a team, add some more experience, and at the same time add a little more size. And so we took the day to explore those options, and we ended up doing something I think will benefit us in the long run.
Quick follow. There was still, just looking at the board, there's still a lot of guys on the board. Was this draft as deep as you thought it would be? And if so, was the other end of that just too hard to pass up and getting an experienced guy?
I mean, we value experience and capacity, and there's a lot of excitement around the prospects in this draft. There's some really good players. A lot of guys went and fell farther than they probably expected. Their talent and just their talent didn't really match where they were drafted. But for us, it's coming out of the draft with a player that can contribute, and I think we did that in a roundabout way.
It was going to be Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Gina Mizell.
Hey, James, hope all is well. Just what have these past couple of weeks been like for you coming off the finals? Just what were the emotions of that, and then having to kind of get right back to work and get ready for the draft?
It's tough. The moment, fortunately for me, I have been in that situation before, being in the finals, feeling that extreme low of defeat. But I keep it in perspective. If you ask me at the beginning of the year, would I be satisfied with losing the finals? I'd say no. But I'd be realistic and say that I felt good about where we were. So after you get past the initial hurt, we move right back into work mode. And the last couple of weeks has really been good for us. You realize, you analyze everything that you could have done better and the things that you want to improve. And then you look around the room and you find out the guys feel the same way. So we're working towards improving, and we know we have a tough task in front of us, but our goal is always to win a title and to do the things necessary to put ourselves in that position. We did it this past year, and we'll have to take it up a notch to do it again next year.
Next is going to be Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Kellen Olson.
Hey, James, to kind of build off that last question and answer, just what did you most learn about your team, whether it was during the finals, during the entire playoff run, that you feel like can inform your decision-making, not just tonight, but as you move into free agency and kind of constructing or tweaking the roster moving forward?
We have enough. We have enough to compete at a high level. And every guy in this building, coach, myself included, we need to improve. We need to get better. We need to find a way to come back better next year than we were this past year. And our players, they fight. They're team first guys, and they're always willing and able to step up. We just have to be better. And I think we will do that. But now we're a team that everyone knows is dangerous. But our guys embrace that challenge. I think every guy on this team was crushed when we lost. But a day or two later, our gym was popping again, and guys were in here talking about how we can get better. And so that's refreshing, because I think our guys tasted the finals, and I think that's a kind of a thirst that I don't think that'll be quenched until we get back there and win it.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, James, you mentioned size and looking ahead to the next couple of weeks. Just a really unfortunate situation with Dario, and you guys are going to be missing him for some portion of next season. So looking at that spot, not only in free agency, but I want to ask you about Jalen Smith as well, and just how you liked his development over the course of the year, and if you see him potentially factoring into the rotation next season as well.
Of course I do. Jalen, like every guy on his team, took steps forward this year. For a rookie to step into this situation, it's extremely difficult. You go from a team that's building to a team that's built, and now we're playing playoff basketball, 82 games a night, and so for him, it's been a great trajectory. I hope we get a chance to see him play well at Summer League, just to continue his development. But across the board, at every position, we just need to get stronger. We need to mature, and that comes with time. But as far as size, I think, with Dario going down, we'll have to address that position. But I've always said, I think in terms of building a team like an index card, we need 3x5. And so I need to make sure that all of our positions are filled with guys that can contribute, and that'll be our focus going forward.
Next is going to be Dwayne Rankin, followed by Cameron Cox.
Obviously, you've got free agency coming up quick here on Monday. One day, that's just about Chris and just the approach, and everyone knows his value and his importance. So what's the approach in moving forward with him going into this?
I think Robert talked about it earlier this week. Chris has an option he has to pick up or decline. We'll cover that when we get there. That starts on Monday, free agency. Monday the 2nd, we'll have a chance to talk to him. We'll know what his decision is at that point in time. But I think what we have is enticing. I think he likes being here. We like having him here. So I'm confident that we'll be able to have a conversation, hopefully, in the coming days that will make everyone happy.
Thanks, James.
Next up is going to be Cameron Cox.
James, how much, when you look back on your time with Chris, how much did you enjoy just having him here this past year, and you think all the thing you built up, over this past year will be, good for you guys moving forward?
Oh man, I love everything Chris is about as a player, as a competitor, as a team leader, just as a leader, the way he approaches the game, the way he builds his teammates up, the way he cares about his group. He genuinely cares about every guy improving, so it's been great for the program. It's been great for me to watch him and to see the impact he's had on our younger guys. And it's immeasurable. You can't put it into words. That's why he's one of the best, or arguably the best point guard to ever play the game.
Next is going to be Kellen Olson, followed by Gina Mizell.
Hey, James, to ask you about Cam Payne, that situation couldn't have worked out any better for you guys, but now it's a situation where if you want to bring him back, he's earned himself quite the pay raise. Just how did you evaluate his progress over the year, and just looking at him as potentially a piece of you guys going forward, even though he's entering unrestricted free agency?
Well, first I would always say, I try to not be sensitive. I'm extremely sensitive to it. When we talk about our guys, I always try to avoid saying peace. These guys are team members. And so as far as being a team member, the way he played this year was phenomenal. I couldn't be happier for Cam. And I know the team we all enjoyed, his success. He's a kid that has played his way back into the position he should be in, which is a really good quality rotation NBA player. And so we're excited for what he's done. Looking forward to talking to him soon to keep him with us, because we know how valuable he was for us. And I still believe there's a lot more growth to his game that coach can unlock.
Next, we'll go to Gina Mizell.
Hey, James, this is now your third off season as the GM of this team. I'm just wondering, how are you a different GM now than when you first took over, or just how do you see yourself in that role? Are there things you've learned along the way that you can apply now? I'm just wondering how this feels maybe different to you than it did, a couple of years ago.
I mean, well, I'm fully invested in the team. You know, when you first come in, you hear front office, you hear coaches, you hear performance staff, you hear all these silos, and you try to filter information level by level. But what I've learned is you have to hear all groups. You have to hear the players, you have to hear the coaches, you have to hear the staff, and then you have to make decisions that benefit the team as a whole. So that's been my focus. You know, when you come in, evidently people love to talk about the draft. You know, that was a big focal point for us when I started because we were a team that was drafting early in the lottery. But our young guys that we've had faith in and that we invested in, they've come out and they've played extremely well, and they've established themselves as like legitimate pros. And so we raised our floor, we raised our level, and when you do that, you have to continue to figure out how you can improve the team. And so you just have to engage in all avenues, in our player development, in our strength development, our draft, our trades, acquisitions, all those avenues. You have to explore them, but you have to make decisions that benefit the team, even if they don't benefit my reputation or coach's reputation. It's really all about the team and continue to build a program that allows you to have sustained success. And so that part of my focus hasn't changed. It's just how I go about living that out on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, you've had such a clear vision ever since you took over, and I mean, to really see it play out the way it has been, whether it's been the development of the young players, the trades, the draft, making the big swing for Chris, like just how gratifying has that been for you that it has? I know you haven't reached the ultimate goal yet, but you got about as close as you can. So just to kind of see that really starting to bear out, how gratifying is that for you?
I mean, when I took this job, I said that my goal was to help, these guys, this organization, these players reach their potential and achieve the ultimate goal of winning a title. So to see them have success, like that's what I live for. Nothing makes me happier than seeing our guys have success. And that's been my goal from day one. That'll continue to be my goal. I'm always thinking about how I can better position these guys to win because that's what we want to do. That's the only thing I care about. The only thing I think about is how I can help our guys win. And so I'll continue to do that with their help because without coach, without the players, without Robert, without the fans, really, without this core group of people in this building, the fans and the community, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Final two questions are going to be Richard Science with Fox 10 and Brendan Klein.
Hey, James, yeah, I just wanted to talk, about you kind of touched on how the picks you guys made the last couple of years have really come to fruition. And how do you feel about how things have really just fallen into place for you and this franchise with not only the picks, but with things like tonight where it gives you the flexibility to keep guys like Payne and work with Chris Paul and so on. I know you're always working and always trying to find different angles, but just the way things have fallen into place for you and this franchise so far.
I'd say I'm pleased but not satisfied. I'm my harshest critic. And I see great potential from this group. And to see us come together the way we have, it just gives you confidence. It gives the guys confidence that if we continue to operate this way, we'll continue to improve and reach our goals. So it's been a pleasure to work with these guys. And I'm just excited about what the future holds, the flexibility that we've created, and more importantly, the continuity that we're building.
My question is going to be Brendan Klein with Locked On Suns.
Hey, James. We got to see a little bit of it after Game 6, just the reaction of some of the players from what happened and losing that game and everything. But I'm just curious what you've observed from your players from that group since that happened and, the resolve to kind of move past it, what your expectations are for what that will do to energize them going forward.
I mean, well, I can see the burn, you can see the sting, I can see the pain. When you get past the initial hello, initial greeting, you can still see that it burns underneath, knowing that we were so close. And that's to a man. I see that with our players and our coaches. So for me, that's refreshing because that means that they're not satisfied. We're not satisfied. And as long as that's our mentality and our approach, I know that we'll walk into this gym every day and guys will be working to get better. Guys will be yearning and dying to get better. And like Chris and Devin and the rest of those guys say, we'll continue to be a work group.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time, champ.
Thank you.